And this one, let's take a look at a couple of examples of writing parabolas in vertex form. So imagine that y equals negative 2x squared, say, plus 4x. So I'm going to rewrite this as a parabola in vertex form. That means I got to factor negative 2 from each term, so that goes outside. When that occurs, make sure that you change the signs inside. So that looks like this. X squared minus 2x. How do I know that this is the correct factorization? Because I can multiply that negative 2 back inside the parentheses if I wanted to. So this negative 2 on the outside of the parentheses, if I multiply that through each term, is going to restore the original expression. So that's one fact. Fact 2. Then, this form right here, where the arrow is drawn, that doesn't show you the vertex. That's why we're taking these steps. So, at step number 3, I'm going to put negative 2, and then I'm going to put big brackets here. And you're going to rewrite x squared minus 2x in this form. You take the variable, you take 1/2 of the coefficient of x, which is 1, negative, you square that, and the x minus 1 squared, if you multiply that out, that will give you an extra positive 1. So you always have to do this. You take whatever that value is right there, whatever that value is, and you subtract off the square of it. So it becomes minus 1 for that reason. So here it happens that this value where the little arrow is drawn is 1. It just happens that way, okay? Then at the next step, you do this. You distribute that 2 on the outside of the brackets as follows. So it becomes negative 2 times x minus 1 squared. And at this point, do not take that negative 2 inside the parentheses. It doesn't work that way. And let me just clear this point right here. I want to make sure we can follow along, just like that. And also, though, you're going to distribute that negative 2 over to here, but also distribute it over to here, okay? So that's going to give you the following, therefore. I'm going to go back to the other color. It's going to give you negative 2 times negative 1, which is positive 2. In this form, you can identify the vertex pretty easily. Take a look. So the vertex, remember, is a point, and in this case, it's going to be whatever that value is that I've kind of underlined, always the opposite of what you see. Since you see negative 1, the value for the x-coordinate of the vertex is actually positive 1. The y-coordinate of the vertex is this value always, together with the sign that it has. That sign is positive, so I'm going to say it's positive 2. So this form right here, this is considered the vertex form. And it's considered that because it shows you the coordinates of the vertex, and then you can read the vertex point. Let's do another example here. So imagine y equals now negative 5x squared minus 5x. So this one might involve fractions. Take a look. I'm going to do it this way, y equals. And now I observe that negative 5 is present in each term, so that goes outside the parentheses. And I end up with x squared. And now from the second term, when you factor the negative 5 out, remember that means this is going to leave you with a positive 1x. Now normally we don't write that 1 in front of the x, but if you want to be very clear that it's present, you're free to write it. And I know that this step number 2 is correct because I could distribute the negative 5 through each member inside the parentheses, and then it would restore the original expression in step 1. And after that, write y equals. I'm going to take negative 5. I'm going to put brackets in here. And again, I'm going to take x squared plus 1x and rewrite that so it looks like this. You take your variable, you take 1/2 of the coefficient of x. 1/2 of 1 is 1/2. Again, if you multiply out x plus 1 over 2 squared, if you FOIL that out, that will give you an extra positive 1/4. So for that reason, you have to cancel off. Remember, you take whatever that value is in that position, you square it, and you always subtract it. So it becomes minus 1/4, like that. At the next stage, you distribute that negative 5 through each thing that you see inside the bracket. So it becomes negative 5 and then x plus 1/2 squared. Let me just use a different color here so you can emphasize this point. So that negative 5 has to go over to in front of here. But it also has to go over to that negative 1/4. So it becomes negative 5 times negative 1/4. So when I do that, take a look, it becomes, for that reason, positive 5/4. Then from here you can identify the coordinates of the vertex. So vertex looks like this. You take that value right there, where I've drawn the little arrow, and then take its opposite. So it's -1/2. And then you take that 5/4, and then this is the vertex point. Thanks so much.